How to expand your Fempire. Welcome to a power-packed episode of Entrepreneurship Is A Marathon, where we have an extraordinary guest, Caterina Rando, joining us to share her invaluable insights on expanding your Fempire as a woman entrepreneur. Caterina will guide us through insider tips on using the art of public speaking to effortlessly attract Insta clients while incorporating events and retreats into your marketing income mix, creating unparalleled growth opportunities. Okay, so whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or you're just starting out, Caterina's empowering and insightful advice will resonate with you. So let's dive in and expand your Fempire to extraordinary heights. We have a lot in store for you today. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Entrepreneurship is a Marathon, a podcast about how you can grow a profit-producing, purpose-driven business without burnout. We don't need more people starting businesses. We need more people continuing. Each week, we'll deliver the latest and greatest tips, tricks, and strategies for you to revive, grow, and scale your business. Now, here's your host, consultant, professor, and the business defibrillator, Vanessa Zammi.
And I am joined here today with our special guest, Caterina Rando. And we are going to talk about today how to expand your Fempire. Okay. Now, for those of you who are familiar with our show, you already know what time it is. It is our time to talk about your win of the week. All right. So what has been your win of the week? What has been your win of the week? Yes.
Vanessa, last night I talked to one of my gals, and she is the 14th gal who's signing up to come on my next year's Bliss Retreat for Women Leaders on a Mission. And why this is such a big win is because I haven't even put it on the website yet. This is what we call pre-publication. So the gals that came last time, there's already 14 of them signed up before I've done my website, before I've put together any fancy information, before I've announced it. And that makes it super exciting and a huge win.
Love that. Love that. Love it when the pre-launch goes well. Yes. Fantastic. Love it. Love it. So yes. So for those of you who are listening, whether you're watching us on YouTube, if you're watching us on YouTube, just scroll to the bottom, hit that subscribe button, and then keep on scrolling. And then comment what has been your win of the week. It could be business. It could be personal. It could be a complete mix. All right. For those of you watching us on a LinkedIn Live, then comment to the right of your screen. What has been your win of the week? Share with us what has been your win of the week. Okay. And while you type that up, I'm going to share my win of the week. So my win of the week has been that I will be flying out to Illinois to connect with the Chamber of Commerce out there. And so the Rockford Chamber of Commerce, they host an annual Power Her conference to educate, inspire, and inform women business owners in their area on how to grow and scale. And so that's my specialty. So they invited me to come out there and speak to their group and their community. So I'm excited for that. And they selected me as one of their conference speakers. So that's my win. Hey. Finally going to end up doing it. So yes, right. So it's like one of those things where you get signed up as a speaker earlier in the year, but things can happen. You never know what can happen. But now it's actually going to happen. It's not actually going to happen. Hey. Now the event is actually happening. So there we go. That's my win of the week. Okay. It's getting excited to do that. Now, folks, what has been your win of the week? Okay. Now I'm going to be reading off Caterina's lovely bio for you. And then we're getting right into the questions on how to expand.
You can keep it brief, my friend.
Oh, yes. Yes. Trust me, I shortened that bio. Okay. Absolutely. Okay. Let me tell you, these guests we have on our show here, Entrepreneurship is a Marathon, they send in like a whole page bio. No. I do not read that off. Okay.
30 words. Give me 30 words. That's awesome.
Yes. But I'm going to share all the beautiful things. I will be sharing beautiful things, right, about our guests. So Caterina Rando is an author, sought-after speaker, podcaster, and a business transformation coach who passionately serves women leaders and entrepreneurs who are on a mission. She is a woman on a mission to uplift the lives of women everywhere through thriving entrepreneurship. Some of her books include Learn to Think Differently from Watkins Publishing, released in over 13 countries in several languages, A Woman's Guide to Starting a Given Circle, and then her latest book, The ABCs of Public Speaking, which quickly hit #1 in 4 Amazon bestseller categories. Caterina is also the founder of the Thriving Women in Business Center in San Francisco, which is a place for women to gather and host workshops. Okay, so we are joined by lovely, fabulous expert guest who has her Fempire and is continuing to grow her Fempire. So first off, Caterina, for those who may not be familiar, what is a Fempire? How do you define that? How would you define a Fempire?
Sure. A Fempire is a women-owned and operated venture that seeks, of course, to be profitable like any venture, and also wants to use their business for good to uplift the people they serve and the community in which they're based.
Beautiful definition. Thank you for sharing that. And how can, let's say, so we have people who are listening, but most of our listeners are advanced business owners, but some people are listening are very early. Some of them are in the middle. Some people have been around 5 years, 10 years, 0 years. Okay. So, but I know a lot of what you talk about is helping women to expand their revenue streams through different avenues. Mm-hmm. How can women identify and capitalize on new revenue streams while staying true to their brand and mission, right? So not even, because there are some people sitting here like, I want to expand, but how can I still stay true to my brand and mission? Some people have even tried it in the past, but it just hasn't been that great in terms of their still connecting to their brand and mission. So how do they identify those streams?
Let me first say that our brand and our mission are dynamic, meaning that the longer we're in business, your brand might, I'm my friend, I've upgraded my brand 15 times over the last almost 28 years. First it was blue and red, then it was, or actually I think it was maybe purple, then, now it's dark red and gold. I mean, it changes as you as an entrepreneur change and evolve. Also, your mission might change. It might get narrower. It might get more expansive. And so one of the things to continue to grow and scale in business is to make sure you're reviewing that brand and mission every year. And you're saying, hey, is this still me? Now, if it is still you, then you want to look at what are the different ways you're serving and ask yourself, is there something people are asking for that I'm not doing for them that I would like to do? We used to do video days when the ladies would come and I'd hire a videographer and we'd shoot videos for them in a hotel with the cameraman and the fancy lights and the makeup lady and all that. We did all that. And then after doing that for a while, I realized, yeah, they like this, but I don't really like this. So we don't do it anymore. It's really about, and it's okay to test things and see, hey, is this something that I want to do? Well, let me test it. As you know, Vanessa, I've done over 20 retreats now. The first time I tested, let me see, will anybody show up? Do I like doing this? Right? Well, I loved doing it. It was massively monetizable. Not the first time, not so much the retreat, but the upsell from the retreat. So that taught me, hey, this is a good thing for me to do to get the ladies together, serve them, serve my business. And that's the other thing, Vanessa, related to this is that, some gals are getting ready to begin to think about getting going. We really have to be willing to test. Okay, I'm going to test it. Not like I'm sure, but let me test and see if this is a good solution for me and my business.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Yes. And I know that two of the main revenue streams that you advocate for is one, speaking, and then two, the events and the retreats. So let's start with speaking. Can you share some sort of do's and don'ts? The do's and don'ts for using public speaking as a marketing tool to attract clients and grow a Fempire?
Yeah, I was looking yesterday at a presentation for one of my clients. I guess I call them my gals these days, one of my clients. And she had this great presentation put together, Vanessa, but it was a little too academic. It was, statistics and studies and all this. And it's okay to pepper, 2 or 3 in there. But a big mistake people make is recognize it's not about the topic. Your speech the purpose of your speech is to establish you as the expert, not the people with their book on the bestseller list if that's not you, okay? So you want to use client examples. How have you served your clients? A lot of people miss that. You want to talk about your own story. I'm sure everyone's heard, you got to build influence before people will buy from you. Well, there's 2 other key things that speaking helps with. they also have to vibe with you. They have to feel like, oh yeah, I can see working with this person. And the other thing is they have to get that you genuinely care about them as an audience member, a potential client, and making a difference for them in whatever area you're serving, health, business, etc. That is the purpose of the speech. Yes, we're going to give them some information and some education, but really it's to establish us as the expert, make sure they resonate with us, and communicate that we genuinely care. And if we're not doing that, we're not going to get clients from speaking. They're going to say, oh yeah, that was a good presentation. Well, so what? And Vanessa, when I give a speech, I don't even want people to say, oh, she's such a good speaker. I want them to say, hey, I want to work with her, right? That's what we want. And that's what our goal is when we speak. Give massive value, have them resonate with us, have them want to work with us.
Absolutely. And I know another main revenue stream, right, is the events retreat. So hosting with events and retreats, though, can be resource intensive, right? As you shared from your first experience when you were hosting it, it can be resource intensive. So how can women entrepreneurs ensure their return on investment while adding?
I've never heard that before. Resource intensive means costs a lot of money, mama. Right. It does. Okay. So here's the thing. Now, by the way, Vanessa, I do my speaker mastermind retreats we do at my center in San Francisco. So of course that helps me manage costs because I already have the place to myself and available. The other thing I do is I do cruises. I do retreats on cruise ships, which helps you manage your costs because the accommodations and all the food and everything is included. And we can have a whole nother session on that because there's a lot more to it. But you know what I love about cruise ships, Vanessa? Nobody can come late. Nobody can leave early. Okay. Because when you have an event at a hotel, which I've done many times, you got mamas coming late, you got mamas leaving early, and they're missing your sales presentation. They're missing the upsell, and that impacts your revenue coming off of your retreat. So anyway, that's a sidebar that I like to do on cruise ships. Here's the other thing. We talk about mistakes, do's and don'ts. Big mistake gals make. Nobody's ever done anything with them before, meaning they haven't been to a one-day event, they haven't been to a two-day event, and gals are saying, hey, come with me for 10 days to Italy. Well, everybody wants to go to Italy, but they don't necessarily know if they want to go with you, who they've never spent any time with, okay? So my recommendation is start in your neighborhood, okay? Start in your city. Do a one-day event. Do a two-day event. And that way people begin to get to know you and then offer the bigger retreat. And Vanessa, I've seen this over and over and over. Somebody just gets started with a week in Hawaii and they don't fill it with ease because they don't have a track record yet that nobody's going to make that type of trip. Or I shouldn't say nobody, almost nobody.
Yes. You're getting to our next question, which is on how do you effectively promote and market. But to recap, essentially what you mentioned with the last question on how women entrepreneurs can ensure return on investment is looking at ultimately how can you subsidize some of the costs, right? So you mentioned that you have your center, right? And so for those of you listening, do you know someone with a center, right? Some of you have been in business for 5, 10, 15 years. So you're local community members. Is there someone with a center who you know, a studio that is also looking for a promotion, right? What are some collaboration and partnerships that you can do when it comes to the space? Or even Caterina put a little nugget in there for the cruise ship, right? Maybe you do a thing where you invite people to all come together with you on a cruise. The cruise is doing its own thing, and then you do your retreat on a cruise, right? Side of situation. So looking at ways that you can subsidize the cost through discounts, through partnerships and collaborations with other people as well, especially if you've been in business for a while. Chances are you have a lot of friends. If you don't, then you're probably not doing your business properly. Okay, so now.
So let's hang out there for a second, okay? Because I know that, banks have a lot of conference rooms that they don't necessarily announce. So if you have a good relationship with your banker, you can say, anytime I want, I could go to my banker and use their community room. A lot of companies have community rooms. I've gone to Google. They have a big community room that they give to associations. So find out what's happening in your community. And a lot of times you won't even have to pay for the space, or a very, very inexpensive, affordable fee. Use your network, as you said, Vanessa, your financial planner. They might have a big room. I used to all the time go huge, beautiful training center at a financial planner office. These are great places to host a retreat, especially if they're not open on the weekend. You could do your event on the weekend. So many possibilities, but yes, you want to manage costs in the beginning. And let's be very clear, it's always going to cost you more than you're anticipating. So you got to have some money set aside for unexpected expenses.
Yeah, it's like redoing your house, unexpected expenses, you know, that's how always come up. Yes. So how can women entrepreneurs, just like top 3 tips on how can women entrepreneurs effectively promote and market their events? Let's say someone decides to do an event, a retreat, or even speak. Yes.
Vanessa, here's the biggest tip. Okay.
Okay.
You're going to do your event. You're going to do your workshop. Even first, the biggest tip is you want to have a 1-hour free Zoom workshop every month. So you always have something to invite people to. Nobody's going to come if they're not interested in you or your topic or working with you. I got one client, she helps women get over a broken heart. Nobody's going to go to her workshop on how to get over a broken heart if they don't have a broken heart. Okay. So then everybody in the audience is a potential client for you. That's the first thing. Have your monthly Zoom thing, standard operating procedure. It will get you clients and keep your pipeline full every single month. Second thing, when you're doing events or retreats or even filling your group programs, make sure you're personally inviting people to come or to have a conversation with you about participating. Here's the guiding principle: invitation over promotion. Yes, of course, we got to promote. We got to do the email. We got to do the website. Of course, we got to do social media. We got to do all that stuff. But what puts smiles on the screen? What puts derrieres in chairs? Personal invitations. And I can tell you, having done over 20 retreats, nobody's twice, I shouldn't say never, twice somebody's signed up through the website. Okay. If somebody's making a big investment in you, they're going to want to talk to you. And it's your job to invite them to those conversations, to explore whether or not this is the right match for them, or maybe something else you've got if they're not ready for the big thing.
Thank you for sharing that. I love that. The invitation, sharing that, and something I even thought about even for my season 4 podcast. Okay, I sent invitations. All right, I sent invitations, and guess what's like, yeah, sure, come on. I was like, okay, great. Invitations. And those are the best. Those are even the best guests. Versus the 0 people I have who came from social media. A lot of people reached out though, who came from the post was there. They reached out. I did not reach back out to them. But yes. Point being is that invitations really do, right? Like when you talk to people, when they know you and you talk to them, it really does make. It's think about it this way, audience. Who do you want around you in that event, in that retreat, in that 1-day blitz, on that cruise ship with you? Who do you want with you? And start sending out the invites. Now here's the thing: some people may say no. Right. Some people may say no, which brings me to our last question. Some last final advice that you have for the guests.
I got a
listeners here.
Vanessa.
Huh?
I got a lifetime supply of advice. Okay.
Well, final advice is just related to how can women entrepreneurs nurture that resilience and maintain a growth mindset during the ups and downs of expanding their Fempire, right? And so maybe they've done this before, maybe they have done this before, maybe they're thinking about it, maybe they're like, I'm on year 10 of my business and maybe I should do an event or retreat. Oh, I tried reaching out. Someone said no. Many people said no. I sent these invites. No one wants to hop on the phone with me. This event is in a week, whatever it may be. But what advice do you have for people to nurture resilience and maintain that growth mindset?
Well, remember what we talked about a little bit earlier. First of all, we've got to build influence with people before they buy. They've got to get that we genuinely care, and they've got to vibe with us. And those, meaning we have rapport with them. Those people are the people we want to be talking to work with. The biggest thing, Vanessa, related to our discussion that we don't talk about enough in business is managing our disappointment, managing our discouragement, managing mental health, depression. We've got 5 jobs as entrepreneurs: speaking, selling, serving, strategy, and self-care. Those are our 5 jobs. We want to be a master of self-care. Okay, I'm still working on it after all these years, but you know what? Life is dynamic. It is definitely a priority. And you know, a big part of managing disappointment, of mastering self-care, is being a part of a community of like-minded, like-hearted women on a mission just like you that uplift each other. If you don't have community in your life, you want community. And you can have community at church, you can have community in your regular geographic community, but you definitely want a women entrepreneur community that you're a part of, where you feel uplifted, where you feel like not only you can contribute, but you're acknowledged for the person that you are. If you need support, it's there. You can be yourself. You and I, of course, are both part of Polka Dot Powerhouse, which I think is a great community of women entrepreneurs. And here's the other thing, Vanessa, as a woman with a Fempire, we want to build our own community. We want to build our own client community, because women don't only want education and mentoring. They also want ongoing support, ongoing guidance. They want ongoing encouragement. And community is a big part of making that happen. So look at how you can cultivate community through your business, not just online. That's what the retreats are for. The retreats are for being in community together. And as a result, everyone flourishes.
Love that. Thank you for those words of wisdom, Caterina. Thank you for being a guest on our show. How can people stay in touch with you or reach you for more information? I know you have some special gifts for us as well, too.
Yeah. Vanessa, thanks so much for asking. Well, first of all, I love Facebook. Feel free to be my friend. And guess what? I got hacked last year, so I got plenty of room for new friends, okay? And Facebook, first of all, look at my website, CaterinaRando.com. That's CaterinaRando.com. And if you go to Caterina Rando /links, you will have lots of really awesome business development tools, videos, checklists, mid-year review, how to get booked for speaking, all kinds of resources that are free to support our listeners and women in business to grow and thrive, and most importantly, bliss in their businesses.
Love that. Thank you, Caterina Rando, for joining us here. So everyone check out Caterina. She says Rando, there's also Rando too. So yes. I'm not pronouncing it wrong, folks. Okay, Caterina Rando. Okay, we are the culture here. CaterinaRando.com. So check out that for more details on upcoming retreat, past retreats, upcoming events that she has going on. And I believe she also has a podcast as well for own as well, too.
And Your Fempire is the name of the podcast.
There you go. Fantastic. And if you do CaterinaRando.com/links, you will see some additional free goodies as well. Those are listed in the show notes. If you're watching us on YouTube, then scroll to the show description. If you're listening to us on the podcast, on your favorite podcast platform, okay, then follow us on Spotify. And then also, click on the link to check out Caterina's free goodies for you to expand your Fempire. We want to thank Caterina for joining us here today on Entrepreneurship Is a Marathon. And if you didn't already tell, this show is not only about a story, but also about the lessons and action items to keep you moving forward in your community business. We equip and empower you through education. So stay tuned each week of season 4 for our special guests that come bringing insights, okay? Insights and inspiration. Alrighty. And so subscribe below if you're listening on YouTube. Subscribe below for updates. If you're listening to us on Spotify, follow our podcast on Spotify. And remember, entrepreneurship is a marathon, but it's a marathon you don't have to run alone. Toodles.
Are you interested in partnering with Vanessa Zammi, the business defibrillator, to revive, grow, or scale your business? Then text 617-959-2203. We specialize in collaborating with storefronts, salons, and shops. That's 617-959-2203 for more details. If you're looking to shock your 10-year shop back to life, then text 617-959-2203 for more details. Thanks for joining us this week on Entrepreneurship is a Marathon. If you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes or Spotify, or if you'd simply tell a friend about this episode. And if you are looking for more tips on reviving your business, make sure to visit our website, vzamy.com. That's vzamy.com. Time to revive, grow, and scale. Visit vzamy.com. That's V for Vanessa, Z for zebra, A for animal, M as in money, Y as in yes.com. Visit vzamy.com for more details.